Welcome, the second Sunday of Advent. Oh yes, we've been ambushed all this week by all the Christmas finery, sales, music, but we have to return to the, you might say, the simplicity of the Advent message. And that Advent message is very clear in our readings today. They really remind us of something very important. The first words of the reading from the Gospel are very intriguing. The beginning of the Gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. No other gospel begins with those words. The beginning of the Gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So you would expect maybe immediately, well, the beginning of the gospel, that we have to talk about the Annunciation, Mary being told she's going to be the mother of Jesus, the Son of God. No, that's not what Mark begins with. The beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, begins with something written by the prophet Isaiah, reflecting actually some of the writings of the earlier part of the Old Testament, even the book of Exodus. Behold, I'm sending my messenger ahead of you. He will prepare your way. And then a voice of one crying out in the desert, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight his paths. Wait a minute now. That's the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And then John the Baptist is the beginning. It's a very interesting, you might say, important reality. Because before we get to Jesus Christ and our faith in him, there are a lot of spiritual beginnings we have to go through in order to ready our hearts for really receiving the Lord into them. It's not just a simple matter of saying, well, I believe in Jesus. We have to have a readiness that comes because we've gone through a number of beginnings in our lives. A beginning which the people of John the Baptist era thought, well, they probably thought once they heard his message and went into the water, they finished. They finished with their spiritual life. They had their sins cleansed. What else do they need? And then all of a sudden, the Baptist says, well, one mightier than I is coming after me. I'm not worthy to stoop and loosen the thongs of his sandals. I have baptized you with water. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. So this is just the beginning. There's more to come. And in a very real way, one of the things that's so important, there's an illusion of Christmas and of Advent, is that it's finished on Christmas Day. And isn't that sad in a way? Because it sort of finishes the season. Everything shuts down. People throw their trees away. Even sometimes by Christmas night, they're throwing their trees out, or they're taking them down. They're putting all the decorations away. But, in a very real sense, Advent and Christmas is a beginning, always a beginning, inviting us to open our hearts to the Lord. It's interesting because the prophet Isaiah speaks of a highway being built. Now, highways are something that we use. We think it's wonderful. And so he says, every valley shall be filled in, every mountain and hill shall be made low, the rugged land shall be made plain, and the rough country a broad valley. But we think, it makes something easy for us to get to. But he's not talking about a highway for you or me. He says, make straight in the desert, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the wasteland a highway for our God. In a sense, the way is for God to get to us. And so many obstacles are in the way. We have to clear them away and wait for him to come. But we have to move aside a lot of the things that block God from coming into us, because he wants to come to us. In a very real way, it is his coming to us. And so often we think we have to get to God. We have to figure out how to get to God. We have to figure out the way. But what we have to do is remove remove many things. And that takes many beginnings. Many beginnings, you might say, that we have to go through. Even in the scriptures, the beginning of the scriptures is the beginning of the creation of the world. There's the beginning of the children of Israel that come with Abraham, their father. It's the beginning that took place with Moses on Mount Sinai. Every one of those incidences is a magnificent beginning of removing something from the hearts of human beings so that they might more readily be open to the mystery of Jesus Christ and his love for them. So, my friends, let that highway be made. Put aside what you need to put aside and begin in a very real way in the long, you might say, process of life until we come to that glorious kingdom of heaven where the fulfillment of all beginnings will take place.